Alright guys, we're going to go over the RV. First of all, your propane tanks are located right here. To access these, you're just going to lift the top off. There's 2 tanks there. There's an arrow. It'll point towards one tank or the other. Just make sure whichever tank you're using, the arrow's pointed towards that. Also make sure you go ahead and purge the propane line before you start the fridge. Hopefully you never need it, but the battery's located right behind here in case you ever need to access that. This is a giant pass-through storage area. This is where you're going to find your water hose, your sewer hose, the hand crank for the stabilizer jacks. Every corner has a little stabilizer jack. These are not levelers or anything. They just stabilize the RV so it doesn't wobble so much when you're inside. You have a large awning. This guy's going to come out. Just make sure there's no trees or anything. You shouldn't be within 15 feet of trees on any side of the RV at any time. So just make sure you're way away from any trees. This guy's going to come out. If it's windy, rainy, stormy, make sure it's closed up. And we recommend, actually, if you're not sitting underneath it, have it closed. You do have a access to the door right here, and you have a set of stairs. To access the stairs, you're just going to flip this open just like this. And then these stairs, there's a little knob right here. You're going to pull this to unlock it, and then you'll just pull it down, and it goes into position, okay? Each one of these legs, if you come in, there's a little pull pin here. These are all adjustable, okay? So you can actually adjust the height of these to make sure it is on, if you're not on level ground, each leg could be a little bit different than the other one. And then just make sure when you go to close this, the door is always 180 degrees open. So what you don't want to do is have this little arm right here hit the door while you're opening and closing it. Also, one other thing we always want to show you is right here when these steps fold down, this needs to be flush. If it is not flush right here, then the door will not close and you can actually bend the door. So make sure this is flush, and to make that flush, that's how you adjust those feet. To close this up, you just flip this up and open. We recommend you shake it out a little bit because there might be some dirt on feet or something. Go ahead and push it right here. You're going to pull the lock again, lock it into place, and then close it, and then you'll go ahead and shut the door. This right here is a handle for when you're going inside or out of the RV. What you do is you just lift it and twist it. This is going to be the position for when the stairs are down. When you're traveling, we actually want you to close it like this. That way the door won't pop open on you when you're driving or anything. You do have a couple electrical outlets on the side here. Just remember, major appliances, the air conditioner, all that stuff's not going to work, and that includes outlets unless you're plugged in to shore power, meaning plugged in at RV park or running a generator. There's a couple exhaust vents here and one over here. They can get warm, so just make sure you're not leaning any gear against that. This kind of little outdoor cooking area. There's no there's not an oven or anything in there or a stovetop. This is just kind of for like a prep area for if you want to set up your grill out here. Hopefully you never need it, but there is a spare tire located right here. And as we come around, there is going to be your power outlet. This is for plugging in your shore power or the generator. The cord is provided, so that'll be in here. Just make sure if you're using your own equipment, you have all your own adapters, okay? If you're using our equipment, they're all going to be included. And then you'll just close that up. You have your sewer washout and your black tank washout right here. The gray water, which is shower water and kitchen water, that's going to have the gray handle. That's the gray water. And then the black one here is going to be the sewer. There is a sewer hose in there. To dump this, you're just going to screw the sewer hose on, and then the other section goes into the dump station, the hole in the ground where the dump is. You'll pull the black lever first. That's going to drain it out. And then we actually recommend right up here, there is an orange washout, okay? If you can hook water in here and flush out through the black tank, this cleans out the black tank. Just make sure you are not running any water through this if the black tank valve is not open. Do not attach to this unless the black tank is open, okay? We don't want it to backfill on you or anything, so just make sure that's open, okay? Lastly, this is your city water connect. We do not recommend you use the city water connection at a park. We recommend you fill up the tank and then you just turn on the water pump when you're using water. What happens is, say somebody left the water on or the park water pressure is too high. This is not like your house with copper plumbing or anything like that. These are just fittings and they can leak and drip and everything like that. So if you leave the park power on, you might get a flood inside your RV. So we recommend just fill up the water tank, click the pump on when you're going to use the water, and then anytime you're not using the water, go ahead and turn the pump off. If you're going to leave for the day, go hiking, go do something like that, make sure the water pump is off and all water is turned off in the RV, okay? This is your slide out. Once again, it comes out about 4 feet. Just make sure you're not next to any trees or anything like that. Have a spotter when you're setting out to slide out and in. As we come around here, you have your water fill for your freshwater tank. You're just going to unscrew the cap, put the garden hose in here. It takes about 5 to 15 minutes to fill up. We recommend you turn your water on half speed. This can create an air bubble if a lot of water's flying in, and water might squirt out and you might think it's full when it's maybe half full or something like that. So we recommend you just turn on your water about half speed, and then you should be good. You can always check the freshwater gauge inside the RV. Once again, you have that storage area here, and then you have your stabilizer jack right there. If you did want to dump your fresh water on your way home, there's a freshwater dump valve right there. It's the white one. You would just pull it. That's going to drain all of your fresh, clean water. We do recommend you leave a little bit in there just for your trip home. Say you had kids, they need to use the restroom, or you need to wash your hands, you do need some water in there. All right, well, let's go inside and take a look, and we'll show you how to use it in there. All right, guys, we're going to go over the interior of the RV and show you how to use it. First of all, you have your slide out room right here. You're going to hit the out button to send it out, the in to bring it in. Just remember, make sure there's nothing on top of the slide out, or like nobody's sitting in the chairs. Make sure there's no weight on it. Also, make sure the pathway where you close the slide out is free and clear, so there's no ice chests in the way or anything like that. This other button right here is your generator, or I'm sorry, is your awning. It's going to send it out and in. Just remember, if it's windy, rainy, stormy, anything like that at all, make sure that is closed up. You do not want to break one of those off. They do cost about $1,900 to replace. Right here is just a light switch, and then you do have your radio below right here next to the sink. And then also on the bed here, this is a great bed. You do have USB outlets on both sides if you want to charge your phone and do that kind of stuff. As we come over here, you have the slide out. That's going to go out, and then you can actually convert this into a sleeping area. All you do is you're going to remove the tabletop, remove the 2 legs, and then right here there is a little groove on each side. The tabletop actually just sits right on top of that. You're going to take these rear cushions and put those on top of the table, and then it makes a great sleeping area. Right above me is the air conditioning unit. To run this, you just turn it on to high cool. Just remember, no major appliances, microwave, air conditioner, even the 110 outlets are not going to run unless you're plugged in at the park or running a generator, okay? As we come around, you have your sink area. You also have a cooktop here. This is not a glass cooktop. Make sure you lift this up. This becomes your backsplash, okay? And then right here, you do have your 2 burners. You're going to just control them here. Just watch out for these knobs. You don't want to put your pan over the knobs. These can melt. So just make sure you're just using the top of the burner. Make sure your pots and pans are sized properly. You do have your microwave here, and then right here, this is the vent for the heater, so the hot air comes out of there, okay? As we come around, you have your refrigerator. This is a dual functioning refrigerator. It will run off of either propane or electricity. To run it, I'm going to go through and show you how to do it. If you're dry camping, you're going to leave it out on gas. If you're going to be at an RV park, you can leave it on auto. All you're going to do is you're going to, first of all, turn your propane on, and we always recommend you light the burners on the stovetop. That way all the gas comes through, there's no air bubbles. You only need to do that once when you are initially starting the fridge. You can turn off those burners, and then you're just going to turn this on. These take about 6 to 8 hours to get cold, and how they work is they're going to freeze the freezer first. Then once the freezer is frozen, the cold air will move down to the fridge. Now, we always recommend you turn this on. Let it start, you'll hear a clicking sound, and then you'll hear the burner light if you're listening really closely. Once that does that, we actually recommend you turn it off one more time, and then you redo it one more time. That makes sure you get any air bubbles out or anything like that. So you'll turn it off, wait a couple minutes, and then turn it right back on. It'll reset and relight, and then you should be good to go for your trip. Also, there's a little slider valve right here. Just make sure that that is not falling down. Sometimes when you start going down like a washboard road, those could fall down, so you just want to be cautious of that. If it falls down, it's not going to cool the fridge. You have your heater thermostat right here. This one controls the heat. Just click it over here, and then the heater will kick on. Hopefully you never need it, but right down here is the breaker box and the fuse panel, just like you would have at your house. Hopefully you don't need to get into anything in there, but it's there. We like to tell you about it in case you do need to get in there. I'm going to send you into the bathroom here. There is a foot flush pedal for flushing the toilet. right underneath there. And then just remember, the only thing that goes down the toilet is RV toilet paper. No Clorox wipes, no wipes of any kind, just RV toilet paper. Also, against this wall here, you have your controls panel. This is just gonna, these are the gauges. They're gonna show you kind of where your black and gray and fresh water levels are. Just remember, they're not always 100% accurate. Actually, in most cases, they're not very accurate at all. So just pay attention to your tanks. And then you do have your water pump here, and then right below here, you have your water heater. We recommend you only run the water heater on the gas mode. Okay? Well, that's a quick interior tour of how to use the inside. If you have any additional questions when you show up, we can go over those. Other than that, we're excited to have you, and we'll see you soon.